Hey everybody, we are here for the Love and Marriage Huntsville first episode of season 5, I believe. Yes. Um so we have or we're back at the scene where Melody is hosting an event for a stadium that they built in Huntsville. Martell and Melody have a very awkward moment. Martell is staring at her. Martell is staring at Mel. It gave me, damn, I love and miss this woman, but she left me. And he was working it out in his twisted thoughts and mind. Meanwhile, Mel is sitting there. She's smiling, but I feel like she's smiling because she's like, what the hell is going on? It was like in her mind, she was like, why is this fool staring at me? Like, he better not start no shit because if he do, I'm ready for his ass. Anyway, Miss Van was surprised that Martell brought the kids over to see Mel in her hosting gig. Martell said he wanted the kids to see their mother living their dreams, but for him it was bittersweet. Why? Why was it bittersweet for you? Because you done missed that water that ran dry in that well, Martell. Anyway, we go on to the couples going to the couples retreat with Dr. Francis. Dr. Francis has his confessional session. Okay, he's in the confessionals. Um, Kimmy and Maurice arrives first. Then Tiffany and Lewis, and Tisha and Marceau are late. Dr. Francis um, asks where they're at. Kimmy calls them. They said that they're running late. There was an issue with the nannies or whatever. So they finally pull up. Dr. Francis and his wife is standing outside. He notices as soon as Tisha gets out the car that Tisha does not look happy. Then we find out that Tisha lost a friend, one of her best friends from college, and I want to talk about that scene, but I want to say this before I talk about that scene. Dr. Francis, Tisha always look unhappy to me, in my opinion. She always look unhappy. She puts on a smile as a front. So when they get up onto the porch and introduce themselves or whatever, they show a scene where Tisha is sitting down in a chair and she's saying that she can't believe that, her friend passed away, that life is short. Marceau comes over to hug her. Now, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I do believe the situation with her friend did happen. But I feel like this scene was reenacted. Like, you didn't see a tear fall out of Tisha's eye. It's almost like she held her head down so you couldn't see her face. And Marceau as well. But in the confessionals, when they're talking about it, she had more tears in her confessional than she had in that scene. But that's just me. That's just my observation that I saw. And I will say that people react to things differently. And maybe she was in shock from hearing the news. It could have been the case. I'm not sure. But the scene just seemed reenacted. Not that the situation with her friend didn't happen. It just seems like the scene was reenacted. But that's just me. So anyway, we switch over to Martell with his mother, who picks his mother up. He's going to get the kids from school for their last day of school. And as they're driving, he lets her know that he took the kids to support Mel and her hosting gig on his week. He had to let it be known that it was his week. Okay. He said that he haven't seen Mel in so long, so it felt weird. Um, the mother was like, she has no issue with Mel. You know, that's the mother of her grandchildren or whatever. But she said she shouldn't be putting people down, like going on social media, and especially talking about Martell. Oh, girl, lady. Um, Mel is upset with Martell's mother because she said that they were talking about her mother. And Martell's mom said, I was not talking about the mother. And the producers go to show a scene where Martell and his mother, by the way, her look in that scene was horrible. I don't know if it was the makeup, I don't know if it was the lighting, I don't know. They end up talking about Miss Van, saying that it basically happened with Martell's mother was like, I got a life. Basically trying to say that Miss Van don't have a life. Child, please. Again, the mother was like, she don't need to mistreat you. And in my head, I'm like, ma'am, do you see what your son have done to Melody? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. You give your son so much praise. Like, you're not with him 24 hours a day. We could see on TV how he come across. So I don't understand what you not seeing, mother dearest. But anyway, we go back to the retreat where Tiffany explains that she has a business phone call to make and walks away. Dr. Francis noted that, as you can see in his head, because he's a thinker. um, so Lewis goes back in the room and tells Tiffany, well, there's going to be a conversation about you taking this phone call about commitment. And Tiffany says, well, did the other Scotts arrive? Like, what's the big deal? The other couple's not here, so what's the big deal with me taking a phone call? I'm sure that's what she was thinking. Um, so as Tiffany come back in and sit down, Dr. Francis goes in about her taking a phone call and Lewis not having nothing to say about it. And all Lewis can say is that he's there to protect his wife. So Tiffany was like, well, I had a phone call. He knew about it. Maybe I should have told you guys that I had to take a phone call. And then she said something about a schedule. And he was like, you're going to schedule yourself right out of your marriage. Basically, he's saying your priorities got to be fixed. So anyway, he decides to do a rope game with them where they tie the ropes around the people's ankles. Tisha and Marcel did a pretty good job. And in the confessional, Tisha says that they did good together because it is 16 years. She's always going to let us know that they've been together 16 years. Marcel gives us a soliloquy. I can't even remember what he said, so we're going to go right past that. But Dr. Francis did notice that they had a knack for the exercise. Kimmy and Maurice were struggling to communicate how to get this thing done. He notes that they're not as close as they should be to get the task done. Dr. Francis notes that. Tiffany just wanted Lewis to pick her up, and Dr. Francis noticed that, and he wanted to know if Lewis wanted to do it, or did he do it not to ruffle the feathers of Tiffany. And he said the purpose of the exercise was to say that the legs that's tied together is part of you being in your marriage and y'all closeness. This is just my version of what he said. And the other legs that are apart are y'all being independent. And then it shows that who's going to do what in a marriage. Or who will decide to do what in the marriage. Then we go to Mel and Stormy in her Zen room. I want a Zen room. That Zen room was nice. With all the plants and the bowls. It was nice. They talk about Martell coming to the concert. They also talk about Mel's relationship with Martell's mom. She said that she was a little upset with Martell's mom when she tried to portray Mel as being lazy, and Martell was the hard worker. They showed the scene with what is Martell's mother name? I can't even remember, but I'm going to just say his mom for now. His mom was saying how she would be at the house and Martell is just working, and the kids were small and she'll be laying around calling Martell name. Well, clearly, after divorce, we can see that Mel was the one that was holding that family together. Because once Mel left that marriage, everything in Martell's life fell apart. So I bet she's eating egg right now from saying that. Mel says she recognizes that it's a divorce. Like, although she loved Martell's mom, it's a divorce, and any connections with Martell, she has to let go. She can be cordial with the mom. She still loved the mom, but she has to let it go. Then we go back to the retreat where Marceau is complaining about being at the couples retreat, but don't want couples counseling. But then in his confessionals, he says he's gonna take this seriously. So why are you complaining to Tisha? Because she didn't tell you that Dr. Francis was gonna be there? Oh God, I can't. Then Maurice and Kim talk about how the rope challenge and how, they were not communicating with each other correctly, and it's indicative of their relationship. Well, Maurice will say one thing, she'll say another thing. He takes it one way and she'll take it another way. Oh God, I can't. And then they go to dinner. This dinner pretty much focuses on Tiffany and her wanting a baby. Tiffany has fears of being alone from her upbringing of foster care, having parents that were on drugs most of her life, and a marriage that she had been divorced from. Dr. Francis let her see that those were losses. And she took that in. She noted that she never looked at it as a loss. And she said that she does not like to be alone. She likes to be in a space where there's people. And she also mentioned that she wants to have a baby. And Dr. Francis let them know that her having a baby symbolizes that she knows that the baby will always be in her life. So they got some things to work through. So every time Dr. Francis says something, Lewis always has something to say. So he lets it be known that Lewis, he does not personalize things about himself. And he said it's because he does not want to be vulnerable and have to deal with the pain. Dr. Francis said he noticed that everything is not good at home plate in their marriage. He figured it out early on in the day, and Lewis asks, "Well, how did you figure that out?" He says, "Well, in life we play the game, and in the game you play the game, but then you discover that in playing the game you stop playing the game." And I understood exactly what he meant by that. Like, you watch the people play the game, but playing the game, you can see what's really going on in that relationship. I peeped that. So, oh, Lewis gonna say, so you're saying our marriage is an act? And then it goes off. But Dr. Francis, he makes his faces. I was cracking up. So I can't wait to hear what his answer is going to be for that in the next episode. Because Lewis and Tiffany, they do come off as a forced relationship. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. Like, comment, and subscribe. Come down in the comments. Let me know how y'all felt about this episode. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.